I was born and raised here. Went to school here. First, going to school here, I started out at J.P. Carr School. That was obviously first grade through 12th grade. Used to walk to school with my brothers and sisters. That was unique. We didn't have to worry about transportation. We walked to school, rain, shine, or snow, it didn't matter. And went there until the 8th grade, until the school system totally integrated, and I went to Rockdale High School, grades 9 through 12. But growing up in Conyers, obviously it was a different kind of Conyers when I grew up. The people were friendlier, and the street that I grew up on, which is Bryan Street, most of the property owners were homeowners. So, I mean, they had children, so we all played together, very friendly. We had competition sports on one side of Bryan Street to the other side, what we call the Flats, which is Hewlett Street. And we always had baseball games, and the families came out and cheered us on as if it was a live baseball game, as if you were going to an Atlanta Braves game. It was really fun. And we did those on the weekends. And we also, to keep ourselves busy growing up, we had skateboard races in the streets. We also had our own basketball goals. We would go out in the woods, chop down trees, build our own basketball goals because we didn't have parks to go to. So we would build our basketball goals and have friendly neighborhood competitions with basketball games. And if I wanted to get around growing up, I had to ride my bicycle. At 13 years old, I love baseball. And at 13 years old, I started playing baseball, we call the Pony League at the American Legion. Well, my mom and dad, they really didn't have time to go to baseball games with us because they were busy working and making ends meet, making money so they could provide food. And for my brothers and sisters, I have 4 brothers and 1 sister, so that's a total of 6 of us. So they were busy working to make ends meet, but I would go to my baseball games on my bicycle starting at 13 years old, and that was my first entrance into organized baseball. So that was a lot of fun. Met some people during the process. And so, again, just kind of looking at Conyers, it was so much different, friendlier. Back during the time I was growing up, we could go to this convenience store on Bryan Street. Back then, it was called Kent Grocery or Lewis Kent. It's actually where Pepper's Heating and Air Conditioning is located right now. So we could go there and we could buy a soda and a candy bar for 10 cents. Now, where you going to do that? You can't do that anymore. But we had the convenience of not relying on a car. We, foot, bicycle, whatever the case may be, skateboard. And so, growing up on Bryan Street was really a treat. In fact, even where the housing authority is right now on Hardin Street, there used to be a playground there. So we would have organized softball games, family picnics. There was also a big swing set there. So again, we were never lacking anything to do when I was growing up. Unlike nowadays, Conyers is so different. Don't know the people in Conyers today like I did when I was growing up. So again, my life in Conyers growing up was, I called it wonderful. I thought it was a great time to grow up in Conyers because, again, never without friends. I always had something to do. My parents kept us busy. And I learned a lot from that. My work habit or my work ethics from what my mom and dad taught us to do. So that carry on into today's working world for me. Most of the retail, all the commerce used to be in Old Town Conyers. And so when I go off to a college, and this is back in the 70s, 73, 74, and during my college years, I noticed that Conyers had started growing, specifically on Highway 138. So that's when Kmart came to town. A lot of the Gayless shoe store that used to be in Conyers, Old Town Conyers, actually branched out to a second branch on Georgia Highway 138. At that point, Kroger began to come to Conyers. Kroger came to Conyers. So I think the commerce on 138 began to change the texture, the small town community of Conyers when the growth started back in the mid-70s. Well, I think the growth, a lot of people say it's out of control, but I think because of the infrastructure, the lack of sewer, there is controlled growth here. It's not growing so fast that you can't find a place in the community. So I think just it's a small county. Just by the mere fact the county can only accept so much growth based on the infrastructure. And I find that appealing, that it's not so overcrowded that you can't exist. Even though I don't know the people here today like I used to, but it still feels like a small town community where you can fit in and be friendly with other people. Okay, happy birthday to Rockdale County for 150 years.